Hey guys, I just wanted to post this video and answer a question that a lot of people have asked me. I don't know how to write it all out because there's a lot to it, I guess, so I'm going to try and make it semi-quick. I've had a lot of people ask me why I changed. Not the weight loss change, but why did I change the way I act, and all that stuff. If you knew me very well, the last three years, I guess, I've became this avid churchgoer, and I got involved in all these church activities, and I knew scripture, and I would pray for people, and everything in my life revolving around was somehow related to church or to God. And but this summer, I just started to change, and people wanted to know why. And a lot of the times I'd be like, just give them some little simple excuse. But I wanted to tell people the truth. And that's one of the hardest things for me right now. So I'm probably about to cry. But this is my truth. I don't know what started it, but it was the summer, and I just decided that I was going to make my own decisions and be my own person. And a few people had told me to watch what I was doing, and that I was making mistakes and doing the wrong thing, and it kind of got under my skin. And so I started making a bigger deal out of the fact that I was making my own decisions and doing my own thing. And then from there, they spiraled out of control, and I just stopped caring about people, and I kicked out, I basically kicked out all the people in my life that had really influenced me. And so I was left high and dry of my closest friends, and I isolated myself, and I didn't know what to do, and I didn't know where to go from there. And so I just started, I didn't do anything bad this summer. I mean, I didn't do anything illegal. Everybody is going to have a different interpretation of what I did. Yeah, I sinned in some aspects. In other aspects, some people might call some things I did a sin, some might not. I know that I felt bad about some of the things I did, so for me it's personal conviction. That is its own little side story, so I don't care if you want to say that I sinned and I threw my life away this summer, or maybe you're like, oh yeah, I do that all the time. I don't care. This is me, and this is what I went through, and this is just my struggle. So I'm just putting it out there. So I when it comes to convictions and all that stuff, it could go any argument way you want it to go. So I'm just going to say, for me, I felt convicted, but I kept doing it anyways because I was trying to run away from God. And I gotten so devoted to church, but I wasn't really that devoted to God. And I knew scripture, but I didn't actually read my Bible. A lot of people thought that I had this huge relationship with God, and in all honesty, I didn't. It became this big facade, and I just kept showing out and showing up, and it basically ended up tearing me apart. But lately, I really struggled with not having God there. I made it a point to not pray to God. And whenever I start to feel like, I look at the sky and be like, oh my gosh, it's beautiful. And my mind would usually go to, oh, God made that. And so I tried so hard to cut out all these thoughts and all these connections to God. But for me, there's no way to do that. I mean, everything around me is evidence of God. And that's just, it makes it tough. And so I tried even harder just to get myself disconnected from God. And time and time again, it would just be one thing after another, as God would really just kind of show up in my life and be knocking on the door and be like, hey, yo, dude, just come back to me, it's cool, we can get this figured out, and I was like, no. I was really stubborn, and I just went and I started, my language got worse, and then there were different people in my life that I just, like, said stupid things to, and it started provoking, thoughts, and, like, I became a person that I always told myself I wouldn't be. I am Jessica Marie Kilgore. I am a positive person. I believe in myself, and I believe in the beauty of the dreams that I have and in the dreams of others. I want to be an encourager. I want to love people and love life. That's what I want to do. And I got so distracted this summer, I guess, by this whole point of making it, like, just making sure that I could disconnect myself from church and from God, that I lost myself in the midst of all that. And so, like, all these things changed because I was trying to run from the one person that loves me the most. And so lately, I've just had, like, this inner thing, and it's like I've been eating up from the inside out, and I've struggled with different faith things and just different things here and there, and, like, time after time I feel like I'm supposed to live for God. I mean, I don't want to live for myself, and at the end of the day, I don't want it to be all about me, because that's not the kind of life I want to live. I don't want to be selfish and self-centered and all of that stuff. I've been there. I've done that. I've put myself in a victim label and worn it for years and years and said, oh, everybody take pity on me. And I don't want to be that person. I want to be the person that can go out and, like, give people hope. And honestly, when I'm not in church and I'm not living for God, I feel hopeless. I mean, there's, like, the random things where, like, oh, maybe one day I'll have a family and that'll give me hope. But, like, right now, I'm 21 years old. I've never been on a date. Don't do the relationship thing. I might not ever end up. I might not even go on a date. I mean, who knows what's going to happen in your life? You don't, like, write out the perfect story ending and somehow get there. And so it's like, I could very easily just be like this bitter old woman that doesn't have what she wants. I don't, like, you don't know what's going to happen. But when I live for God and I devote myself to God and His Word, and His Word is truth, and it talks about the fact that God can orchestrate everything, and you just get to sit back and rest in the arms of God, and, like, I miss that. And so I struggle because parts of my life are really good when I'm running away, because Satan is just really good at his job and with temptation and with all these things that look good, but in the end they cause me to freak out and get nervous and I get stressed out by doing bad things. And so I can't do that. I am stressed out to the max because of all these consequences that I'm waiting to see what happens, and just stupid little things that I'm frustrated with myself. But anyways, so basically, I was running from God because it's what I've always done, and I just got scared, and so that's what I did. But, you know, lately I've been challenged to seek God and to find out why I keep running away from Him, and I was scared to do that, so I ran away from Him again, and that was probably, like, these last 2 months have probably been the toughest for me, because it's the most I've ever wanted to run away from God, and the more and the harder I tried to run, the more I found out why I kept running, why I've always been on this roller coaster of ups and downs and ins and outs of my relationship with God. And it's two things. One of them is I have, like, extreme commitment issues. I have it with my friendships and different relationships I've been in, and it definitely relates to my relationship with God. And I usually try to cut things off before people could cut them off with me. So it's like I have like across the board, like a 3-year max that I'll keep in your relationship. And so it's something I have to work on with God now and with other people. And the other thing is that I don't know how to explain it other than calling it like just this darkness, this stupid cloak that I basically wear. And it's because years ago, I was a church brat. I basically grew up in church, and as I got older, I started seeing my church brat testimony as being insignificant, and so I didn't think that I really had purpose for God or in His kingdom or in the church. And so I started exaggerating things I had been through, and I basically came up with a testimony that was not true, and that became my story. And I kept it, and people believed it, and a lot of times people would take pity on me, and I just wore a victim label everywhere I went, and that was my identity. And I never broke that. And I got so tired of it that's why I quit going to church my senior year of high school, and I just started doing stupid things, and because I was running away from God as much as I possibly could. And then I came to college, and I thought it would be a time for me to get a clean slate and to start over and just to like live this good life that for God and be connected to a church like I've needed to be for a while. And so I ended up getting my life straightened out with the help of the BCM and First Baptist Church, and then First Assembly of God, and I did really good with like learning about Scripture and learning about God and all kinds of things. But I was attached to a wall rather than a relationship, and I never really developed my personal relationship with God. I did alright a few times where like I'd really seek God for things, but it was just one of those, instead of really working for something, I started coasting through my relationship. And when you're coasting, you can't coast uphill, you can only coast downhill, or when you're going straight, and that means you're not going anywhere good. So that's what I did. And when I started coming to my most recent church 3 years ago, no, I don't know, 2.5 or 3 years ago, I had kept the exaggerated false testimony that I created years ago, and so that kind of loomed over me, and I knew it, and nobody else did. It was just my thing, and I didn't know how to break it because I was so embarrassed. And so it just continued and continued, and it just started eating me up. And so now, here I am, and I asked God to forgive me for all the lies and for all the stupid things I've done. And I don't know how else to start over than to let you know that I'm sorry. I'm sorry that I've lied to each and every one of you, because if you know me, I've lied. I'm sorry for letting so many people down and for turning my back on so many people. I've met some of the most amazing people in and out of the church, and being this fake person for such a long time, it's devastating to me. And so I'm sorry, and I'm absolutely embarrassed of my choices and my decisions lately, and just in and out, up and down. So I apologize for that, and I'm taking a challenge to be a better person and to start over and start fresh in my relationship with God. And I just hope that you forgive me, and maybe you can even help me out and help me not cuss so much and just help me make better decisions. But Have a good day.